Well, they wasted little time getting right into this as episode 13 of Odd Taxi kicked in. I just want to give a pre-warning here. Please, if you have not watched Odd Taxi or episode 13 at the least, please do not listen or watch this video. Because this is pretty much going to spoil a lot of things this particular series. But yeah, like I mentioned before, they went right into it really quickly, having Goriki essentially talking to Shirakawa about what Otokawa is facing. He is facing this kind of dysfunction to his visual perceptions. And as the episode goes along and Otokawa is running from pretty much the police and Yano and his guy, it starts to go into his past, how he was pretty much bullied as a kid. He had troubles kind of communicating with other people, or humans specifically. He really liked animals. He really liked to go to the zoo. His mother was abusive, a drunkard because his father essentially was apparently seeing somebody else. His father would take him out to the zoo every now and then. He got him a book, so he really liked animals. This is his escape, basically. And yes, at one day, his mother finally had enough and took them both in a car. His father passed out and drove him into a lake. And when he woke up in hospital, he thus, at that point from then on, started seeing everybody as animals, including himself as a walrus, because it seems like everybody called him a walrus. He said that he looked like a walrus. So yeah, that was kind of the big reveal that yes, that accident is what kind of triggered him seeing people as animals from then on. Of course, and you kind of suspected at the moment that he got on the bridge that this is probably going to reverse once he went off this into the river once again in his car. Yeah, when he wakes up, he sees Goriki and Shirakawa and immediately sees them as humans again. So he's been seemingly cured by just having another accident. So if you ever have a injury from an accident, just have another accident. It'll fix you. That's one of the messages here. But I thought it was kind of cool during this build up to this wreck. It kind of had, and I kind of mentioned in the previous episode impressions, it seems like, or at least I'd seen from the preview, that it seemed like everybody was going to witness this. And sure enough, it seemed like everybody was in different locations near this bridge that he drives off of. And it was kind of cool because they each kind of showed their circumstances. Everybody had a circumstance that they were facing, and almost the plunging of the car was like a symbolic image to each one of them. Whether it be Eiji sees the ring fall in there, it's the body, the chicken dropping in the frying, all those kind of perspectives, each kind of seeing this as a symbolism for themselves, and basically them reflecting on their life at that point. So it was kind of a cool little kind of perspective there. It was really cool when he wakes up and Goriki asks him what he looks like. He's like a human. He's like, oh, good, you must be cured. What does she look like? And he looks over at Shirakawa and he looks away and you're like, oh no, is he still scare you? Oh no, it's because she's pretty. That was really cute. Cute little scene inside the hospital, having Imai show up and offer him the money, and he decides that he's going to give that money back to the charity that pretty much has been funding a lot of these people. Little Daimon shows up to Dobu and kind of lets him know the police are coming, just to kind of give him an opportunity to run away, but we find out later he doesn't. He actually does seem to go in for his crimes, which is, sad for Dobu, but he did reveal that Daimon did shoot Dobu, so we finally got a confirmation on that. He's like, if you get away, I'm going to shoot you again. And then on the news, they're reporting about the fact that they have arrested Rui and the manager and Yano and pretty much all of his guys and the manager. I've seen the manager already. And this is kind of troubling because at this point, it's like we still haven't revealed who did it. we're arresting them. Otokawa does mention, and I'll talk about this more later. Otokawa does mention that he did have a recording of somebody he dropped off there. And I don't know if he's specifically mentioning that he dropped off Rui and that they could tie that in with the time of death and that could free her, or if he was mentioning that there was another person specifically that he dropped off. Because as we find out later, and pretty much the assumption that a lot of us had, and I think I forgot to mention it when I was debating that, and I ended up putting it as a subtitle on my video. But yeah, the one that would gain the most for this, essentially this girl that replaced the one that was killed, would have actually seen the most benefit in killing her, and that could have been the person that was in the vehicle that could, again, clear that name. Now, that gets me to my theory on the last scene, because this is a very, very troubling scene to leave it on. It's like, I don't know if you're doing a season 2 with this. I'm not sure if it'll have the same charm, but they're essentially implying that this girl, of course, killed this idol, and it was in order to be successful. And she's talking to her mother about this, and then at some point she just gets in the taxi with Odokawa because she knows Odokawa drove her. So again, he has the footage of this girl. He knows that he dropped her off, so he has the proof. And he states it in the hospital that he has footage of that night, and so he thus he was claimed that he was going to give it to the police. So they should. I was half expecting, as she's talking on the phone with her mother, for the police to drive up because, again, Odokawa was going to give them the proof they needed that she was there. So my hope and theory, and this is what makes the ending not bad for me, is Odokawa is known for doing crazy stuff like this and stopping people that are bad. And so he knows this girl's bad. He hopefully looked at the footage after he got out of the hospital, or at least gave it to the police. So maybe he's there to catch her. And again, he knows it's her. He can look at the footage. He knows this girl. So he knows the person getting in his car, hopefully, is the bad person, unless he hasn't looked at the footage since he had this happening with his vision. But yeah, that's my theory for the very end, is like he knows this girl's the one that killed her. He knows this is the bad person, but if he doesn't, then it leaves that open to she's there to kill him. So not a very good note to leave it on, but that's just, I don't know. Again, I don't know if they're doing a second season or if they just want to leave a really cool, like, oh my gosh, it continues kind of thing at the very end. The opening egg of aliens or whatever at the very end, but it was a cool end. It's one of those things of like, again, that element of some people are willing to do anything to get ahead, and her way of getting ahead is to literally kill somebody. Which, again, Nikaido was planning on doing it. I mean, this seems to be a common theme with this show and Idols. But, yeah, this girl is willing to do everything. It's like it showed her, and I'm like, who is this? And I seen the eyes, and I'm like, okay, well, again, she's talking about killing this girl. Okay, this has got to be... I don't know if it was Yuki or if it was... her name was replaced Yuki. I'm getting mixed up. But this replacement talking about this, and she looks like a grade schooler, and I'm like, this is really kind of crazy anime stuff happening here. But we'll go with it. But, yeah. Hopefully she gets her dues. Chick's crazy. She can eat fried chicken in prison for all I care. Well, just because I think they managed to go through and show everybody as their actual selves, not animals. I don't know that they ever showed Shiho, unless I missed it. But they managed to go through everybody and kind of show everybody as their actual selves. It was really cool. I think overall, really fantastic last episode. I think it just was a nice, like I said, having each of the characters kind of reflecting on their existence. And it gives us like this sense of everybody's circumstances and kind of dwelling on it. Everybody's got, their troubles. Everybody's facing something. Tanaka is just about to jump off of a bridge because he feels he's just pretty much sacrificed everything. He has shot somebody. Shirakawa is looking for Odokawa. Goriki is revealing what's wrong with Odokawa. They're getting to his resolve. This culmination of all of these everybody really reflecting on things and shining that little light on their existence, all being kind of in the same wrapped up situation, which was exactly what I enjoyed so much about the series. Coming into it was this kind of element of having all of these circumstances wrapped up in one chaotic happening that is all linked together and seeing it resolve. It was a really fantastic series, though. Like I said, love it to death. Cannot wait to do a review on it because I'm probably going to just sit here and gush to death about this series. I wish that it was a lot more popular than it seems like it is, but it's what it's all about, finding those gems that you just fall in love with. But I hope you guys enjoyed this series as much as I did. Really fantastic. I'm going to miss it, honestly. It's been fun speculating on it. Oh, one last thing. The cat in the closet. A little bit of a letdown, I'll be honest. What was cool, though, about this, if you think about it, is there is a cool twist to this. Yes, simple as it's a cat. It's not anybody in there. It's not the killer like I was thinking it was going to be. It's nothing to do with that. It's literally just a cat. The cool twist to this, though, is the mindset of Odokawa. He sighs realizing it's just a cat. Now, if you think about it, this is coming from somebody who's been seeing people as animals for the longest time. So he sighs because he realizes that it was just a cat. And I think it's implying that he had a thought for a minute there that it could have been a person. He could have had a person locked up in there. And I think him sighing in relief is him realizing, oh, I didn't have a person in my closet. It was just a cat. Which is cool again. It's really cool, though. Super awesome episode. Super awesome series. I'm going to miss it. I hope you guys enjoyed my impressions. As always, please leave a like down below if you like this video. Comment, let me know what you thought of the episode. Subscribe if you haven't already. And share this video if you can. And I thank you all for watching. And y'all take care. And hopefully PonyCan does not strike my video.